गुड मॉर्निंग स्टूडेंट्स। कल के लेक्चर में हमने टाइप्स ऑफ फिन्स पढ़े थे इन फिशेस। आज हम टाइप्स ऑफ स्केल्स इन फिशेस के अंदर पढ़ेंगे। स्केल्स इन द फिशेस, स्केल्स जो हैं वो डर्मिस की मीजेनकाइमा सेल से ओरिजिनेट होते हैं। दीज आर द डेरिवेटिव्स ऑफ द मीजेनकाइमा सेल्स। इन सम fishes, they are devoid of these scales. These are naked fishes जो कि fresh water catfishes होती हैं. In some species they have intermediate condition. They have necked but scales are present on some restricted area. Such condition is found in paddlefishes, Polydon, and in which the scales are present in the region of throat, pectoral region, and the base of the tail. In some fishes, scales are modified into the teeth or the bony armor plates and the spiny stings. जैसे कि stings rays में जो spine है वो is the modified form of the scales. In some freshwater eels, Antula, the scales are very small and they are so deeply embedded they are appeared as a necked fishes. Most scales are arranged in a imbricated manners, overlap with the free margin, directed towards the tail, so to minimize the friction with the water. These are the scales condition present in the fishes. After that, we are study the type of scales in the fishes. There are few types of scale based on their structure and shape. Shape and structure की वजह से इसके अंदर scales जो हैं वो differentiate हो जाते हैं. These different types of scales are often characterized of the species. These are the species specific भी ये होती हैं. On the basis of the shape, scales are of four types. Plate-like a placoid scale commonly found in the elasmobranchi fishes. Second is cycloid scales found in the soft ray fishes. Rhomboic. Third is rhomboic or diamond-shaped scales common among the gars and the surgeon fishes. And fourth is Tenoid scales, generally characterized of the spiny red bony fishes. And after scales also be classified as a placoid or non-placoid. Non-placoid scales are, uh, are the three types: Cosmoid, Ganoid, and Bony fishes. Now we study the different types of scales. First is placoid scale. जैसे कि डायग्राम में दिखाया जा रहा है, these are the placoid scales. This is the fish where the placoid scales are present. No scales is seen, but in microscopic slides, these scales are like this. This diagram shows the placoid scales. Placoid scales are the characteristics found among the shark and the elasmobranchi. These are small denticles that remain embedded in the skin. Skin के अंदर ये present होते हैं. These are called the dermal scales. These scales has two parts, and the upper part known as the ectodermal cap or spine. This is the spine part, and this part is made of the enamel-like structure known as the vitrodentine, similar to the human tooth. This is made of the vitrodentine. The lower part of the placoid scales is a disc-like basal plate. This is the basal plate of this placoid scale, which is embedded in the dermis. This is embedded in the dermis of the skin, and cap or spine projecting out through the skin. These are the dermal spines. The basal plate has a small aperture through which the blood vessels and the nerve entered into the pulp cavity. This is the dorsal view, and this shows the ventral view of the placoid scale, where this is the pulp cavity where the nerves and the blood vessels are coming from the skin. The placoid scales are modified in the jaw teeth in the sharks, in spines in the dorsal fin, and squalus in the spiny dogfish. The dorsal fin is modified into the squalus. So this fish is called as spiny dogfish. In in stingray, this scale is modified into the sting or the in a stingrays and the saw teeth in the pistis fish. The saw teeth में ये modified हो जाती है in the pistis. After that, the second type of scale is Cosmoid scale. These scales are found in the Latimeria and the extinct lobe fishes. The diploid, the Cosmoid scale are highly modified and appear like a cycloid scales. The Cosmoid scale is a plate-like structure and consists of 3 layers. This Cosmoid is made up of 3 layers. The outer layer is a thin, hard and enamel-like, called the wintrodentine as in the placoid scale. The innermost layer is composed of the vasculoid part as is the placoid scale of the basal part, and perforated bony structure called the isopendine. This is the isopendine, the innermost layer of this Cosmoid scale. The middle layer is made up of hard non-circular and characterized material called cosmine. On the basis of this cosmoid, these scales are known as the Cosmoid scales and is provided with the many branches, tubules and chamber. This is the structure of the scale. This structure shows the original form of scale. This is the diagrammatical part of the Cosmoid scale. This is the microscopic part of the Cosmoid scale, where the epidermis, this is the cosmine innermost layer, this is the vascular spongy bone, and this is the outer isopendine part. This is the Cosmoid scale, which is the structure of the Cosmopterygians fish. Next is Ganoid scales. These Ganoid scales are thick and rhomboid. They consist an outer layer of hard inorganic substance called ganoid. On the basis of this structure, these scales are known as Ganoid scales, which is different from the vitrodentine of the placoid scale. The Ganoid scale is found in the cosmine layer, provided with many branching tubules. This is the structure. This is the diametrical structure of the Ganoid, where the first part is epidermis. That the epidermis from this dentine are coming out from this epidermis. This is the Ganoid layer, isoprine and vascular tubules. The bony layer of the isopendine occupy the innermost layer. These scales not only grow at the edge but also grow at the surface. The growth take place by the addition of new layer of the isopendine. The Ganoid scale is the best found in the Polypterus and the Lepidostris fishes. These fishes' Ganoid scales are rhomboid plate-like, fitting edges to edge and invest the entire body, as is seen in this. This is the Polypter fish where the Ganoid scales are present. In Accipenser, the Ganoid scales are modified into the large bony scutes arranged in a few rows. This is the description of the Ganoid scale. Next is the Tenoid scale. These are the characteristic teeth as its posterior part. Tenoid scales are found in the spiny rayed teleos fishes. They are arranged obliquely in such a manner that the posterior end of one scale overlap with the anterior edge of the scale present behind. And one more characteristic is present. The chromatophores are present at the posterior part of these scales. This is the microscopic section of these scales. This is the original fish, and this is the diagrammatical structure of the Tenoid scales. Next is Cycloid scales. Cycloid scales are devoid of teeth and spines. As in the previous slide, the spines are present on this part of the scale, where in a cycloid scale no dentines are present in this area. The cycloid scales are devoid of teeth or spines, as in so they called as cyclic or cycloid scale. They are found in the soft ray teleoids and modern lobe fin fishes, but some spiny rayed fishes like the Lepidostrelis and show the presence of the cycloid scales. In Macropterus, both cycloid and tenoid scales are found. As is seen in this scale, this part is the embedded part, and this is the exposed part, where this is the focus part where the scales origins start. This is the anterior margin, and this is the bony ridges where in this area the exposed area, first, second, third annuli are present. This is the posterior margin, and this dotted part are called the chromatophores, is attached in the skin. Next is the bony ridges scales. These bony ridges scale characteristics of the bony fishes osteothesis. The bony ridges scales are the thin and semi-transparent because they do not possess dense enamel and denticles layers that are found in other types of the scales. They are of two types, cycloid and tenoid scales. The outer surface of these scales possess bony ridges that alternate the groove-like depressions. The edges are arranged in the form of concentric rings. These are the concentric rings as is present in the cycloid scales. The inner part of the scale is composed of the fibrous connecting tissue. The central zone of the scale is differentiated properly as known as the focus of the scale. This is the focus of the scale. During the development, the focus appears first and lies in the central position. When growth of the scale takes place in the anterior or posterior part, it causes shifting of the focus anterior or posteriorly respectively. Later, the groove radiates from the focus towards the margin of the scale. The diagram is same as the cycloid or tenoid scale. These are the type of scale, and the significance of the scale in the taxonomy. This play an important role in the classification. So they are very useful in the ichthyologist, which studies on the fishes. They are not found in the lamprey and the hagfishes. The sharks are the characteristics of the presence of the placoid scales. Primitive bony fishes possess ganoid scales. The higher bony fishes have the tenoid and cycloid scale. The scale count is highly important in taxonomy. Scales count is very important. The number of scales present in the lateral line, along the side and body of the body, around the body, is species specific. The age of the fish could be determined by the measuring space in the annual ring of the scales. And last is the some species like Atlantic salmon, the scales exhibit the presence of the spawning mark on it. Then these marks indicate how many times the fish has spawned and the time of first spawning also. These are the importance of scales in the taxonomy. This is overall the type of scales, and the next topic in next lecture is the classification of the species or the fishes. Thank you very much.